In my previous 2 videos, my friends and I spent 9 days paddling deep in the rainforest of Guyana, South America. We saw tons of wildlife, had our fair share of problems, including illness, punctures, and other problems, but we were nonetheless having fun. Where we left off last time, though, was discovering just how cut off we really were from the networks of civilization. In this final video of the series, we battle our way through some serious jungle to try and reach the salvation of the only road for hundreds of miles.
I'm Fergus. This is the middle of nowhere.
So, we're in a bit of a pickle. We have based our planned exit route on this terrain map from Google Maps. There's the river, that black line. You can clearly see a road going over the river along there. At the moment, we are here, beyond the road, and there's no sign of it. So we're waiting for responses. I have sent a request to my wife, and I've also sent a request to a friend of Adam's to try and see if that road even exists, or whether we have to go 5.5–6 kilometers through the jungle to get to the main road. So we're just waiting for a response. So we've concluded that the road probably does not exist. So we're gearing up, preparing some water to trek straight through the jungle east to the main road.
Okay. We are packed and ready. The road is 5.5 kilometers that way through thick jungle. Things are not going according to plan.
This is our last night after all.
This is our last night in the jungle, fingers crossed. The bush is extremely thick, and we have only managed to get about 1/3 of the way from the river to the road in the space of what, 3.5 hours?
3.5 hours.
So that means like 6 or 7 hours tomorrow of bashing through the bush before we can hope to merge on the road. Knackered. Everybody's knackered. But we have food, we have water.
And we have shelter and a comfy bed.
Yeah.
And once you're in your comfy bed, it feels the same as all the other nights.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Yeah, although Adam has ditched a lot of his gear.
Yeah.
Including his boat. Both of his boats.
They were too awkward.
And paddles. And a bunch of other stuff. I left my sandals.
We did leave the paddles for a good
Some
reason.
food.
As a backup.
Yeah. The paddles were left in order to mark our direction of travel into the middle of nowhere.
This really is. I don't think another human has been here ever.
Yeah. Certainly not for a long time, if ever. The problem is that the canopy, the tree canopy, is actually quite low. There's not a lot of
50 mil.
There's not a lot of really big trees here, so a lot more light reaches the ground, allowing all kinds of horrible plants to grow. I guess they look nice in a way if you didn't have to go through them, but they're evil.
They're tearing our skin.
Yeah, I've got cuts on my skin, and they're covered in thorns. They should be banned. Yeah, we should exterminate them. Deliberate extinction.
Fag has been done.
Yeah, mine is done.
Thank you.
Mine can just brew with its lid off because it'll be too hot. Oh, mine looks good. I'm having chili con carne and there's sweet corn in it.
A little bit of comfort
Oh, a nice chili con.
in our predicament.
It's only a survival situation, what are you on about?
Well, is it? Is this a survival situation?
For you it is.
Well,
For Fergus, it's just another day in the
Yeah.
jungle.
I think if you're running low on water
Yeah,
and you don't have a way to top it up
yeah.
and you have to go over very difficult terrain,
In this heat.
yeah, I'd say it's on the cusp.
So,
Compared to my getting lost in the jungle in
It's nothing.
Africa with no water
Yeah,
or
that was
food
definitely a situation.
or a light.
anything. Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just easy to convince yourself you're not in it until it's too late.
Yeah.
That's why you need to start making those good decisions early on.
Well, we're a third of the way to the road.
Yeah.
And we've got all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we start early, we take regular breaks, and everybody will have lighter packs and we'll be fine. We can just take our time.
We're covering about 500 metres an hour, half a kilometre an hour, which is slow but it's measurable.
In Tasmania, I was stuck in the bush. I ended up turning around, trying to get through bush that was covering about 100 metres an hour.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how thick that is.
It's so good that you've been in situations so similar because then we know like it's not that big of a deal.
Well, it's an adventure.
Yeah, exactly. And
Makes a good story.
I mean, the road is only 4k away. That's what's frustrating though, it's like that's such a short distance.
Good morning. That's the road ahead. Well, look in any direction, it all looks the same.
Yeah.
I know, I'm just going around obstacles. All these cuts. Show us your wounds.
Oh, I cleaned mine up last night so you can't really see much.
Ah, yeah.
Some up my arm, but I cleaned them.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
That tree looks straight out of Predator actually, those leaves.
It does.
The way the light's coming through as well.
Yeah. Come on, Do it, kill me, I'm here, come on, do it now, kill me!
Long white feet.
This is untamed.
Do you get it?
Yeah, it's moving quite quickly though. So the others aren't convinced.
I don't want to get my hopes up.
But I think that the road is right in front of us and we have overestimated the distance. That's what I think. Well, it's definitely ha 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 the road. We're saved.
Get me out of here.
We are saved, look.
Ow, it's spiky as
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Here we are.
Oh, we're wrong. It's only 5 kilometres through thick jungle. Not 5.7.
So, now we've got 2 days to get back to the capital. 2.5 days for our flight. Oh God. I hope you have enjoyed our suffering. Please like and subscribe and all of that stuff. We're on our way back to cold Scotland. Oh, I gotta get this bag off.
that bag. I've been following that bag for 2 days.
So I'm back in Scotland now, and have been for about a month. That all happened, seems like, a long time ago now, actually. And I'm out in the wild now. Actually, today I've been filming the next video, so I'll leave you guessing as to where that's going to be. But I felt like I should talk a little bit about what happened at the end, because it was quite unplanned and a little bit of a mildly dangerous situation. I'm sure you've noticed that the quality of the footage went way downhill for that last bit, and the reason for that is because I never intended to shoot anything then. So I was budgeting right up to the line in terms of how much power do I have left in my power banks, how much can I soak up from the sun, which on the solar panels that I had was not very much, to basically be able to finish with hardly anything left when we reached the road. And then of course the road wasn't there. So the only camera which had much power left in it was my big chunky Canon SLR, which was just really impractical to have hanging around my neck all the time, and would have been very uncomfortable too, whacking through the bush. So I used it to film the shots at night and stuff when we got stuck and had to camp, and a few other bits like when we got to the road, because it was the only thing that had any batteries left, but otherwise everything was dead. And another reason was when we kind of shifted from having a fun adventure to realizing that we really need to take things a lot more seriously until we get through this thick jungle, filming just didn't take a high priority anymore. So I shot little bits and pieces because I thought it was important to tell that part of the story, but having epic footage, which I tried to do with the rest of it, just wasn't high on the agenda anymore. I have to say we all felt bad. I mean, I know I felt terrible about leaving stuff in the jungle, leaving rubbish, leaving stuff which is made of plastics, even some batteries because they were so heavy, because it violates what is basically the prime directive of wilderness travel, which is leave no trace. Don't interfere with the environment that you're in. But it was clear pretty much from the outset that because we had not planned on having to carry that much stuff across very difficult terrain on our backs, and the fact that some of us were struggling, you know, we had been ill, we were having trouble with the heat, basically reducing the chances of ending up in a serious emergency had to take priority. Adam had by then come to terms with the fact that he wasn't handling the heat very well, and he knew he had to ditch everything that he could to maximize the chances of having a uneventful crossing through the jungle. But I was a lot more resistant. I held on to a lot of stuff which wasn't even of high value, just because I didn't want to leave it there. And I have to say that on the first day, I really struggled. Felt fine at the beginning, but then when things got thicker, it really took a toll, and I was very much stumbling around. When you've got fallen logs in your path, there are vines snaking across the forest floor everywhere that you can easily trip up on. Sometimes the vegetation, the undergrowth is so thick that you can't see the ground, so you don't know what you're going to step on. And I was wobbling and I fell over a few times. And that's the kind of situation, especially when you're exhausted, when you might break a bone. And breaking a bone is basically it. You know, if you're trying not to make an impact on the world, well, calling in a rescue helicopter is going to use so much fuel and cost so much money that it was a no-brainer. So on the second morning, I looked through everything and I left stuff there. And the others even left their boats, because on the first day, Laura was really trying to carry them both. And after an hour, Adam just said, no, you know, you're stumbling around. Something is going to happen. We got to leave them here. So if anybody wants a free pack raft, I can give you the coordinates. I know exactly where it is. Nobody lives in that area, so they could be there for a very long time. And when I reflect on what we saw out there in terms of the road that we were heading for cuts through the forest from the north of Guyana to the south, and there's plenty of rubbish along the roadside. The driver of the bus that was going from Georgetown and got us down to the start of the trip was just, whenever he finished a bag of crisps or a plastic bottle of some soft drink, he would just roll down his window and chuck it out into the jungle. And it doesn't make what we did any better, but it kind of puts it into a perspective whereby, you know, we're doing our best. But despite everything that went wrong, I mean, I think it's clear from the 3 videos which I've put together, we had a great time. It was one of the most satisfying exotic overseas adventures that I've ever done, I have to say. Yes, things went wrong. That makes it more interesting. It makes it more dramatic if you're making videos of it. So that's just the way it goes, and it gives you lots of good stories. If everything goes really smoothly, nobody's that interested. We saw loads of wildlife. We really experienced the jungle. Adam and Laura said they wouldn't trade it for anything, certainly not to get their pack rafts back. So I think all in all, it was really cool. And I'm really glad that we did it, and even that it went the way it did. Lastly, I'd like to just send out a big thank you to everybody who has subscribed to this channel, whether you've done it while watching these overseas trips or whether you did it before.
It's wonderful to see that support growing, and also the comments. I love reading people's comments because it really makes it feel like, rather than kind of talking to an empty room, I'm hearing feedback from people who really are getting something out of these videos. So please keep the comments coming. It's really nice. I haven't had a single nasty comment from a troll or anything yet. And it's just a great part of my day. It makes it feel really worthwhile. So all that's left to say now is, now that spring is here, I'm really looking forward to getting out more in Scotland over the next 3 or 4 months. It's going to be great. I have loads of cool stuff that I want to get done, and I just need to slot it in when the weather is favorable. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Give me a thumbs up. And as I said, leave a comment if you feel like it. I love reading them. And I will be back in a couple of weeks after Easter with something more local, which I have been filming over the course of today. So thanks for watching, and have a lovely Easter.